It's big dog season, and you can't stay still because you want it. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Talk that talk.
Good morning. Today is Friday. It's May 31st. The year is 2024. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I'm sitting outside out here by the, it's early Friday morning. So, as you all know, my mother, I was out of town for about 11 days, stuck over in Turkey doing that dental procedure. During that period of time, my mother had to be rushed to the hospital, and she was having some issues. I'm not really sure what was going on. So when I got back, these issues were continuing. Now, prior to me going to Turkey, my mother was hanging around here at my house every day, coming over here, even when I wasn't here. I could see her on the Ring camera. She couldn't get the door open. She has a key. I don't know why she couldn't get the door open. After I showed her several times, this lock is kind of funny over here. She came over here several times. She was hanging out. And literally right before I left for Turkey, I was running around with doctor's appointments. I was doing a bunch of stuff. I was busy as hell because I knew I was going to be gone for a minute. And so I said, let me get everything done and get my medicines, my high blood pressure medications, get all that stuff with me and take just in case I ended up over there longer than anticipated. I was getting prescriptions renewed and picking up all my medicine. I was just doing a bunch of stuff. So a day or two before I went to Turkey, I was not able to see my mother, but she was over here at the house. I actually could see her on the Ring cameras. Long story short, I told my mother several times I was going out of the country. When I left, for some odd reason, I guess maybe because she didn't realize, I don't know what's going on with my mother. I told her I was going out of the country. She kept coming over here to this house, and of course I wasn't here. And I could see her on the Ring camera, and I'm over in Turkey thinking, what is Mama doing over at this damn house? She knows I'm not there. I'm out of the damn country. And I really couldn't communicate with her because she don't have WhatsApp on her phone, and it just was But anyway, through a series of events, my mother ended up in the emergency room, and she called me from Turkey. She called me while I was in Turkey. She wanted me to come pick her up from the emergency room. I said, Mama, I can't pick you up from the emergency room. I'm out of the country. So I forgot you're out of the country. So I said, call my sister, Michelle, and let her come pick you up from the emergency room. Oh, no, I just found a way home. I'll find a way home. And I said, anyway, I called Michelle, and I said, go pick up Mama from the emergency room. The emergency room is literally a 5-minute drive from my mother's house. 7 minutes at the most. So Michelle got up out of her bed, drove all the way from Stone Mountain to pick my mother up and take her home. My mother's car was at park at the house. Somebody else had dropped her off at the emergency room. So I asked Michelle what later on. I called her and said, now remember there's a huge time difference between being over in Turkey and being over here. And my sister said there's nothing wrong with Mama. She seemed fine when she got to the emergency room. She was talking with people. She was, everything seemed fine. She said she didn't know what was going on. She didn't get a chance to talk to anybody. She just dropped her off. Yesterday, my mother called me. I'm in the middle of doing, y'all, it's a lot of stuff going on over here with this house. I'm trying to finish this stuff up in here. I was gone for 11 days. I had a house full of people running in and out of here. In the midst of all this, my mother called me and said she needed to go to the emergency room. I said, okay, Mama, what's going on that you have to go to the emergency room? She said she wasn't feeling well and that she was at the urgent care place up the street from her house. And they said they did an EKG on her and something seemed abnormal and she had a blockage or something and she needs to go to the emergency room. So I said, okay. I said, you can't drive to the emergency room. You're literally 2 blocks away from it. She said, no. They said I could take an emergency ambulance or can you pick me up? Can you come pick me up? I'm in here at this house. I'm thinking, okay, she's not far from here. But all the stuff that I was trying to take care of, y'all, I haven't been back in town a week. So I said, okay, but maybe something is going on something clicked in my head. So I said, maybe something really is going on with mama. Let me stop everything that I'm doing. And let me get in this car, go pick her up. Let me go by the urgent care place. I went over there to pick her up from the urgent care place. I got there, she was with some guy. I'm like, well, who's he? He can't drive? I said, okay, fine, whatever. Put them in the car. They gave me the paperwork at the urgent care place. I drove her right up the street to the emergency room. I walked into the emergency room. I walked in the paper. I said, my mother is having a stroke. They said she has a blockage. They said that she's not well and we need to rush her to the emergency room immediately. I announced this to the whole emergency room when I walked in there because there was a line of people. She's having a stroke. There's something going on. That she has a blockage. I have the paperwork. They just did the EKG. They told me to rush her over here, and we are here now. I rushed her over here. We need help immediately. They all ran out. Are you okay? You know, the whole emergency room went quiet. And I just stood there and looked at my mother. Because this is the attention that you want. I said, she's having a stroke. They said, here's the paperwork. They said she had EKG, and there's a blockage, there's something going on. She needs emergency medical assistance now. They said, okay. So they grabbed her. They ran. They said, where's ID? Like, the person got my ID. They grabbed her up. They rolled her to the back of the damn place. I went with her. They immediately hooked her up. They said, we got to do EKG immediately. We got to do our own. I said, okay. I stood there. Right? They said, you can have a seat right there. I said, no, this is very important. I don't want my mother to die right here. I said, this could be horrible. This could be a bad situation. So I stood right there. They were doing the EKG. I stood and watched. I mean, we went in the hospital 5 or 6 minutes. They had my mother hooked up to an EKG machine. They did the EKG. They did that. We rolled her back outside. Then another lady came. And they said, okay, we need to do an x-ray. I said, okay. And they ran to the room. Literally, these rooms are right here in the emergency room at the CAB Medical Center. So I'm standing there outside while they do the emergency x-ray. They did the x-ray, and then they came back out, and then we were sitting there, and I said, Mama, how do you feel? I said, do we need to put you in a bed or something? Is there any actually, you having a stroke? Are you just not feeling well? We're here at the emergency room. Tell me what's going on. Tell the doctors and nurses how you feel. Well, I feel okay. I feel fine. I said, Mama, if you're not feeling well, we're here now. This is where you want to come to be at. We need to resolve whatever problems you're having with your heart or whatever's going on. My mother's sitting there. So, my mother was there in the emergency room for a couple of hours. I sat there with her. After they did lab work, they did another EKG. They did the x-ray, and then if something was going on with my mother, they'd rush her off to surgery. There's a blockage or something going on. They kept checking her blood pressure. Kept asking her, how do you feel? And she got all the attention. All the whole emergency room running around there. Even the security guard's like, is your mom okay? I said, I think she's okay. I mean, that's what we hear. This went on for hours. And finally, I said, okay, sure, I'm done, honey. I had been at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. I've been dealing with this house. Side note, I'm about to sell this house. That's what I'm over here doing. We'll get back to that in another video. This motherfucker about to go. Got over there back over to, I was tired at that point. I was exhausted. And so I said, well, Mama, I got to go home and lay down. You seem to be fine. My mother was sitting in the emergency room. At this point, they had pushed her back into the lobby. We out in the lobby with the rest of the people. We no longer have this high-profile emergencies. There's a room full of sick people, really sick people, who need to be there in the emergency room. There's some really sick people in this town. Y'all take care of your health. Stop what you're doing right now. Get off your fat ass and walk down the street for a couple of miles and walk back. I sat in that emergency room and looked around at all them sick people in there, and there's some sick people here in Atlanta. I can imagine that's in every city. But I looked at all them sick black folks, young people, in that hospital. I'm like, God, take care of your health. You got one body. Take care of your health. It was ridiculous. There are all kinds of health issues in that hospital last night. All ages. There were different races in there too. That place was packed. I'm like, it's May. All these people, it was just packed with people. I'm like, ambulances pulling up people. I'm like, this place, Mama, these are really sick people in this emergency. They need to be here. You don't. But I sat there with her ass and I just got exhausted. So finally I said what she said. I'm going to stay here until I find out what's going on with me. I said, well, you can stay here. I'm going home. I went on home, left my mother there. Actually, I had to came back here to take the dogs out. I had to come meet another client here. I had to fill out this paperwork for this realtor. I had a bunch of shit I stopped doing because my mother wasn't feeling well. But I wanted to make sure that this was accurate, that she was not feeling well and there was something going on. They said they did an EKG at the urgent care place. They saw something. I've had EKGs done too. They said, oh, we saw something. And you'd be like, oh, what did you see then? Nothing, honey. Obviously, there was nothing wrong with my mother. A few hours later, Mama called me and said, I was tired as hell. I had just laid across the bed, and sure enough, there was my mother calling. It was about midnight. I said, Lord, I'm going to have to get up out this bed, get up, go over to this hospital, pick her up, drop her off, and come back home. And finally, I said, I'm not doing that. I said, I'm calling Uber. I said, Mama, when they discharge you from that hospital, go talk to that security guard at that front desk. I got his name. I said, his name is so-and-so. She said, he said he would be there. He just go over there and talk to him. She finally, an hour later, she called me, okay, they discharged me. So she went over there to talk to him. And I said, hey, you remember when I spoke to you earlier? I said, I should have got the address because I want to send an Uber to pick up my mother. He gave me the address. He said, tell me to come up to the emergency room ramp. They pick up right here at the door. I'm right here with her. You sending the Uber now? I said, yeah, I'm going to send an Uber right now. So I sent an Uber. I called the Uber driver. I read the Uber reviews. I saw his little reviews. I saw his picture. Okay, so I know he ain't going to kidnap no 80-year-old woman. I don't know what he going to do with her. You know, like I know. I read his reviews. He did sure he has 4 children. The Uber driver who's picking my mother had 4 children. He writes children books and he sells them on Amazon. So I said, okay, this is a good family man. He just doing Uber to make some money. I called him. We talked. I said, my mother is leaving the hospital. She's not going very far. She's going right around the corner. He said, okay, I got it. He said, yeah, I know exactly what it is. I said, go to the emergency room ramp. She's sitting there with the security officer. Sure enough, a few minutes later, he pulled up. He texted me, I got her. Mama texted me, I'm in the car. I said, okay. I watched the little lay across my bed, watched it, and of course, I'm speeding this up because this took some time for me to figure out how to use the Uber to pick her up because I don't really, it took some time. This wasn't moving this rapidly. It took me some minutes, 30 minutes at least to figure this shit out. I couldn't figure out that address because she had to get her back over there to the security guy so I can find out where. I saw the address to the hospital, but there's multiple buildings here, and I need to know. But when he said have him come to the emergency room ramp, there's a big sign that says emergency room ramp. So sure enough, the Uber driver was able to find his way up to the emergency room ramp and grab my mother and take her home 5 minutes away. My mother needs attention. She's bored. She's bored. If I was not in the process about to get rid of this big old elephant over here, this house, this got to go, I would move her in here. She can have all the attention she wants. She wants attention. She wants to, let her stay here. She wants to babysit children. She could babysit kids. She can put in that basement apartment. She can have little children, have a little daycare. She loves children. Maybe we can get a little assistant. She's got to find something to do. She's got to stay entertained. She's like anyone else who wants, she's lonely. And I guess with me being in Turkey all that time, she was just determined that she was going to get some valuable time out my ass. We sat there for hours. This started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and ran to midnight. Before I left, I think I left the hospital about 10. It was 10 o'clock. Yeah, because I got here at 10 to take these dogs out. It was 10 o'clock when I walked in this door and took them dogs out. She's bored. You know, she didn't burn so many bridges with people. People don't sometimes want to be bothered. She has a sister that lives here. Why don't she go over there and hang out with my Dotha? You know, she's in a building full of people, but they tired of her Christian mess, and they don't want to hear about their God and Jesus Christ. They're tired of it. You can't preach the gospel to everybody all day and night long, Mom. We have them people at your age, they know about Jesus. They didn't heard about Jesus by now. They trust me, they have heard about Jesus Christ. They don't want to hear shit else about his ass. They up here waiting to die and go beat him. Leaving people alone in that building. They see her coming, they go the opposite direction because they're tired of her. I said, Mama, you don't have to preach to everybody. People 80 years of age, they tired too. They in here right there, old folks. And then one of the things I dislike about the building, my mother, they built these buildings. They built the beautiful building. There's nothing to do outside of that building. There are activities inside the building. But they didn't give any outdoor space for these elderly people. Other than some benches on the front of this building, there's nothing to do there. They don't have a park or, my apartment complexes have some outdoor space. You can walk away, there's nothing there. There's a Chick-fil-A across the parking lot, and a grocery store, Aldi's, and, there's a bunch of stuff like that. But there's nothing for these people to do there outside of that building. So they're bored over there. A bunch of elderly people, ain't nothing to do over there. No activity center. I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to sell this damn house. But if I don't sell this house, I can move away in here, and then she'd have a place to at least live out the last few years and be comfortable. But then that means I got to maintain this monstrosity for the next few years. Right now, the housing market at its peak. I can get out of here and run. This house could sell in days, and I could be gone. Anyway, that was my yesterday. Today is Friday. I'm not ready to stress myself out with this bullshit. I got to go pick her up, take her to her damn car, which is still over there. Here's another thing. My mother was able to drive from her apartment over to my brother's place, pick up a complete stranger. He drove her around town to his doctor's offices, but he ended up at the urgent care place on Lawrenceville Highway. That a friend of mine works there and see me walk in and said, "That's your mother?" I said, "Yeah, that's my mother." I said, I should have called him, but I couldn't remember his number. But he works there. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know that was your mother." I said, "Yeah, that's right. She lives right up the street." He said, "Well, you need to take her to the hospital, that EKG." I said, "I'm going to take her out there right now." But my mother could drive all over Atlanta. She get in that car, that Honda be burning rubber all over town, but she can't drive to the emergency room. You need me to drive you to the emergency room. You'll be able to drive to everywhere else, even to the urgent care place, but now you need me to stop what I'm doing, drop everything, pick you up, and drive across town. Not far from me. She's right, not far from me. I got to go sit over here in the emergency room with you. We walked in there. Then people jumped on it immediately. They did not. They knew she was an elderly woman. They jumped on it immediately, and they looked at me like, "Your mother okay?" The nurse, she came to me. She was like, she was all the paperwork. She's like, "We looking. Don't see nothing. We'll watch her for a little while. We'll let her sit here." So I let her sit there, just in case something happened. I don't want to rush her home, and then we get home, and then something do happen. She needs attention. She got a beautiful apartment. She's just not comfortable there. She's got to be around people. Every morning, my mother gets up, gets dressed, and she haul ass. You can't sit down at home and rest and relax. One thing I do like about this house, there are days I don't even leave this damn house. Yeah, I'm just content right here. I'm sitting on this porch, listening to these birds chirping, drinking me some coffee, watch these dogs run around. I don't have to get in that car and go nowhere. The gym. My mother has to stay gone. She gets up and go. What the fuck are you doing? Every day? You can't just sit at home and relax? driving all over the place. I'm going places. I see her drive past me. I'm like, is that mama? Way up in Cobb County? What the fuck she doing up here? I'll circle back around. Let me go look. This is my mother. I'm calling her. She ain't answering. She don't answer the phone when she driving. Miss Daisy just all over Atlanta. Everywhere, but she can't drive to the emergency room 2 blocks from her house. Anyway. Well, everything's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with her, like I said from the very beginning. There wasn't nothing wrong with her. I knew that. Well, I'm glad ain't nothing wrong with her. But the drama we got to go through. I sat there in that emergency room, y'all, and I watched them sick people in there, and I saw a lot of sick. Y'all better get up off y'all fucking ass. If you sitting at that house right now doing shit, you don't exercise, get up, start walking, start exercising, do something. If you just saw all them sick people, and this was, we were not at Grady Hospital, I can imagine what that shit looked like. We were over here at Little Emory. I didn't think I'd see nobody in there, because every time I don't go, normally in the past when I've gone to the Emory, the hospital, that place is a ghost town. But last night, it was rocking and rolling. I said, look at all these people in here. Place was packed. Packed. All kinds of health issues, young folks. Y'all better get up and start exercising, do something to take care of your health. I don't know what y'all thinking. Y'all motherfuckers that don't want to work out, don't want to exercise, don't want to eat right, you're going to end up right over there at Emory or any of these local hospitals, and it was packed. Packed. The only reason why my mother was put to the front of that line is I ran in there and was yelling and screaming. Y'all clowned in that hospital yesterday. But that's what she wanted. Right? You're not feeling well. You've been screaming you ain't feeling well for days. We here. Let's find out what's going on. You've been already up here once before. They ain't found nothing wrong. How much time has we got to go through this? Got to find something for her to do. Something to occupy her time and her mind. And it could be anxiety. You know, I admit as you get older, it ain't no fun. I haven't got to the stage in life where I feel lonely. I go to the gym, I have clients, I deal with people all day, every day, so I don't get lonely, honey. When I have downtime here at the house and nobody's here, nobody's bothering me, I'm peaceful. I'm like, oh, good. Nobody being bothered. I just turned that phone off and I got 10 phone calls and messages that ran through there. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, you know, I guess I'm blessed and lucky. I ain't very blessed. I am at an age where I'm still able to stay busy. Anyway, I am about to get up from here, give me another cup of coffee, take these dogs out. Yesterday I had the girl. The house hadn't been cleaned in 2-3 weeks. She came in and cleaned this house. When she cleans this house, y'all, her name was Rosie. When Rosie cleans this house, it is spotless in here. She does such an amazing job. And she cleaned the house up before their realtor came over here yesterday. And he said, "My God, this house is immaculate." I said, "Yeah, the girl cleaned it. It was, it's not a dirty house, but when she cleans, she polishes the floors. She uses a special cloth. I was paying attention this time because every time I thought about cleaning the floor, they don't come nowhere near as clean. But she has a special polishing cloth. So after she vacuums and cleans the floor, then she polishes the floors with this cloth that she hooks on this thing. The floors look just so beautiful when she leaves. And then the house smells so good. And he was just like, we can sell this house in days. He's like, he already has one person. I'm going to call him this morning. And I just got to make up my mind what I'm going to do. Something's got to be done. I want to be a little bit closer in town and something a lot smaller. This is a lot of house here. And the past few days I was here by myself. And it's funny when you're in the house by yourself, you're in bed sleeping, you hear something like, oh, what's that? And I had the dogs with me, and they look up too, like, oh, they look at me, and we looking at each other like, is somebody here? And Grayson learned to be quiet. And then finally Grayson had jumped down off the bed and started barking. It's just too much house. I love the area. I love the house. I love the privacy. I love the safety here. There are a lot of things I love about this house. But I like to be a little bit closer in a much smaller space. I don't want a townhouse, but I wouldn't mind something, I don't know what, that's the hard part, trying to find something a little bit closer in that's more of a ranch. I'm not against a 2-story house. I will buy another house, but nothing like this. This was not the best idea. Anyway, today it is Friday. It is May 31st. We made it through May. And I'm about to gonna give me some other coffee. This is my first coffee, cold as hell. I'm out of here. Today is Friday, May 31st. The year is 2024. Yeah, I'm gonna do another video later, but I got a lot of shit I need to do today because I didn't get shit done yesterday dealing at Emory Hospital with my mother. All right, I'm out.